Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Well, I was having some technical difficulties. I was supposed to be doing it. I don't know what was happening with this thing. I'm still learning as I go. So I just want to welcome everybody who's tuning in tonight live, and I appreciate you coming on. I want to send a big shout out to the most worshipful Keystone Grand Lodge out of North Carolina. I just want to send you a big shout out, brother Walker. I ain't forget about you. I ain't forget about you, brother Walker. I want to send you a big shout out. I thank you for tuning in tonight. Tonight's topic is going to be called Accusers, okay? Accusers. And we're going to talk about the system of Freemasonry in various Grand Lodges. When I say that is because um, different jurisdictions have different systems. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that the system that PHA has is a system that is, in my own opinion, this is my own personal opinion. This is not in regards to my Grand Lodge. This is not the opinion of anybody else's but my own, from my own interactions. Um, Not from the Grand Lodge of Prince Hall. I mean, this is just from my personal interaction with members from Prince Hall Grand Lodges, okay? And what I've found is that their system that they have is a corrupt system. Not corrupt in a way of stealing or anything like that, but a corrupt in a way that the very thing that you say that you are all about, you are not. And I understand that, some may say, well, this is our rules. I got you. I can appreciate that. I'm okay with your rules. But however, when your rules are foul, I mean, your rules, when I'm talking about foul, I mean like this here. I got a phone call, right, from a brother who felt that him talking to me was detrimental to his Masonic being, that he felt that he didn't want to. We cool, we good people, and I respect him. That's my brother. However, because of his jurisdiction from where he hails from, he feels that if he was talking to me, that it goes against his Masonic, the Masonic system for which he's a part of, the PHA way of doing things. And if it's not PHA or mainstream Grand Lodges, PHA considers you to be clandestine or bogus. That is their system. Okay? If you are a member of Prince Hall Grand Lodges, their system is that if you are not with them, or if you are not recognized by them or mainstream Grand Lodges, you are considered clandestine. That is their system, bar none. Now, I know some people may say, well, Brother Hawkins, that's not. No, that is your system. And I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but your system is foul. Your system is foul. If you say that everyone else is clandestine except for you in mainstream Grand Lodges, or those Grand Lodges that mainstream may recognize, that whole system right there, that's whack. That's whack. That is a corrupt system. Now, I don't usually kick anybody's Masonic system. I don't. Many of you have heard me say, you know what? That's the way they do things. I respect that, and go on. For the most part, that's true. I would say that. But the more I interact with some of the Prince Hall Masons, it's beginning to really turn, and not for the better. Because when I see you, I see me. We're in the same boat, the same ship. We're on the same, because if anything happens to you, not just individually, but when it happens and it's detrimental to the African American community as a whole, it happens to me. Because as sure as they pull you over and snatch you out the car, and can shoot you and walk away from it, they can do the same thing to me. So I'm saying that the system is a bad system because the system doesn't allow for true practice of Freemasonry. Now, if you don't agree with me, you're certainly welcome to call in tonight. But God dang it. Dang, I'm back. So I'm saying that the system is a bad system. Hold on just a second. Hello? Oh, thought somebody was calling me. Whew. Anyway, but the system is a bad system. And that's from my interactions. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I get. Now I'm gonna tell you something that happened today. So me and brother, I don't know if I want to call him a brother or not. Me and John Harrison was going back and forth today as far as getting him to come onto the show tonight. And I told him that the show starts at 7 o'clock. I'm a little after 7. And that he was welcome to call in to the show tonight. And he was asking what we was going to talk about. I said it was open mic. Whatever you want to talk about, John, we can talk about it. So he said that he would prove that my Grand Lodge, or he would prove that John G. Jones was expelled. He would prove it with his documents. And what he wanted to do was have a split stream so he can show his documents and and that sort of thing. I'm like, cool with that, but I don't quite understand how to operate that right now. I'm not afraid to say that. However, I did tell him this. I said, why don't you come on the show, call in, and what you can do is you can give references to where you can find this information that you have. I mean, I've been part of debates to where you have information, you can tell people the reference of the information without really having to put it up on a big old screen and show it. I've been there. So I told him, I said it was open. You can call in, John. But you were so bent on the mere fact that I did not have the split screen to where you were able to show your documents till, you was like, no, until you get that, I'm not coming on. Well, bruh, when I get it, you're welcome to come on. If I never get it, you're still welcome to come on. So I'm just saying, don't use that as a ploy not to come on the show. Don't do that. Don't use that as a ploy not to come on the show, because until I get it, you'll be saying, well, you don't have it, so you can't, so I'm not coming on. No. Come on the show, give your references to the information you have so individuals can go back and see it and get it themselves. Period. And that's the thing. One brother told me that I was non-existent. Well, hell, if I was non-existent, then how come you posted and told me that? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so the accusations that is put upon the non-Prince Hall Masons is that if you are not recognized by Prince Hall or mainstream Grand Lodges, then you are clandestine and bogus. I would like to pose this question. How did you feel 30 or 40 years, 30 years ago, when you was neither recognized by mainstream? Did you really care? But apparently you cared, because you know what you kept doing? Speaking of the system of Prince Hall and what has been placed upon other non-Prince Hall Masons, okay? So I don't want anybody saying, well, I'm against all. I'm not. I'm against you're supposed to be here. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Not on this show life. It doesn't work like that. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, I am 100% unapologetic about being part of my jurisdiction, and every Mason should be should feel the same way. But in feeling that way, I don't feel that I'm better or less than any other jurisdiction. No, I don't. And you shouldn't either. And that's the thing. And if you buy and just let anyone come and just try to dog out of or mislead a brother, I've been told that I was misleading brothers. Information, anything I give you, and you can read it for yourself. That's what a brother does for another brother. He don't try to convince them. Read it for yourself. If you find it's going to go against it or the other way, cool. Agree with international system, okay? But it's their system. What's the name? Do that. The only group of Masons that does that is a PHA Mason who has not yet been, I would say, not a well-traveled Mason or well-learned Mason. Now, you could take that or let it alone. Because if you was a well-learned Mason, you would understand that Masonry is never say and do is where you at. Then you're not a well-learned Mason. And you're not a well-traveled. I, as a Mason, understand Masonry. They've seen, and it doesn't always have to go according to their jurisdiction. Nothing to do with them. But I'm talking about you so-and-sos who like to call me. You debate me on the Facebook pages, but you won't call into the show. I'm talking to those type of Masons. Those are the ones I was talking about the other night, those cowards and eavesdroppers. I'm talking to them because all they do is distort and confuse things. But they don't want to have the conversation so we can all have a better understanding. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk to you. So if you can't get down with that, then you kick rocks. Kick rocks. So that's the issue I have. The issue is the system. In the system of Prince Hall Freemasonry says that if you're not recognized by mainstream Grand Lodges or themselves, you're clandestine or bogus. Talk back to me if you want to. The call-in number is 619-286-0642. I'm yours truly. I want to send a big shout out to the Nation of Islam. Happy Savior's Day. I listened to my boy Farrakhan today, and he just tore it up. I can't wait. I'm telling you this, and you're hearing it from me right now. Something big is going to be happening here real soon. I just got to be patient. And when it happens, it's going to be one of them damn ooh-wee moments. Trust me on that. I can't wait. If I got to wait another month or even 2 months when it gets a little warmer for this to happen, and I got to spend my own money to travel to see that this happens, I'm on board. And I can't wait. Some of you already know because I've talked to you personally about it. But man, let me tell you, it's gonna be all right. You know that song? It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. So tonight, call in number 619-286-0642. If you got something you need to say in regards to the nice topics, my accusers or the accusers, and the accusers are those who consider that if you're not recognized by Prince Hall Grand Lodges or mainstream Grand Lodges, then you're clandestine or bogus. If you answer to clandestine or bogus, then you are clandestine or bogus. That's how I see it. So I'm talking to any of the Masons out here tonight, and sisters in the Order of the Eastern Star, because you are fairest among thousands, altogether lovely. You are beautiful, queen. All right? So this is inclusive. This is not exclusive. So my queens who are out there who are part of the Eastern Star, certainly you're welcome to call in too. If you got any questions in regards to the OES and how they fit into this same mindset, because there are some sisters out there who would say the same thing. They will. And I just shake my head, you know. But hey, that's on you. It comes 9-286-0642. Let me just read some of the comments. All right, so just sending a big shout out to everybody that's on tonight. I see Traveling Man on tonight. Brandon, thank you for coming on. Q's, hey, congratulations to the Q Dogs. You know, they honored Louis Farrakhan, the Minister Louis Farrakhan, with a membership. From what I understand, back in the day, the minister was going to be pledging Omega blackball, and now he's a lifetime that great fraternal order of Omega Psi Phi. And as he said in his speech in regards to that, I'm now a member of all the fraternal Greeks fraternity. And he said that, hey, he was an alpha. He said he was down through the whole Greek letter alphabet and was naming them. Boy, he was rolling them off. And you know, that's respectable. And I can appreciate the minister for kicking that knowledge down. So I just want to send in Islam tonight. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters, and congratulations on your annual Savers Day. Great success. It was great seeing the minister on. So just sending a big shout out to Biggie T. All right, brother Chris, appreciate you. Brother Patrick Jones. Oh no, is that Patrick? Oh, I said Patrick. Is that Patrick Jones? Thank you for coming aboard. I can't really see the picture. Brother Adams, thank you. Appreciate it. And everybody that's on, I appreciate you for coming on. It is indeed a pleasure to be in your presence today. So if anybody want to call in, that number is 619-286-0642. I'm just going to break it down to you tonight. The accusers, this is the topic for tonight. And this is clearly saying for those of us who are not part of the Prince Hall system of Freemasonry, their banner, their stance is this. If you are not recognized by them, then you are considered clandestine or bogus. And I would say this to any of us. If you answer to clandestine or bogus, then that's what you are. If a brother is like typing saying that you're clandestine or bogus or even suspicious, and you answer to them, then that's what you are. You don't answer to a name that you're not. Period. If a brother called me out of my name, and I'm looking and I'm wondering who he's talking to and he's pointing at me, I don't answer to it because that's not my name. So greetings to Brother Cook, everybody who's coming on tonight. Exclusive Lodge, number 69, Los Angeles. Greetings. Hope all is well. Tony, I missed the first 6 minutes, so the only part I caught was about someone wanted to. Oh, okay. So here's the story for the day. I was going back and forth with John Harrington. John Harrington was a member of the Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Washington State. He wrote the book Fathers. I can't think of the name of the book he wrote. He wrote a book, and it was a pretty good book. I give him credit for that. However, the book went against the historical points of views of Prince Hall Grand Lodge. Their whole system, it went against that. And as the book was beginning to gain momentum, his jurisdiction, his Prince Hall Grand Lodges did not back that book. As a matter of fact, they rebuked it. They rebuked that book to really put it bluntly and forcefully. They was like, no, they stuck with what they've been saying all along. And his documentation in that book, it proved that there were some errors within the history of PHA. So he in turn went on the round table, and they in turn called it clandestine. That, you know, Prince Hall was clandestine. That's what they said on the round table. And I don't recall the episode, but it was definitely on there. So check that out for yourself. And this is where we're at. And my thing is how can you say that even though some of these Grand Lodges have been around for over 100 years, but yet you're saying that. And then not long ago, you found yourself in the same boat. That is a nigger mentality. And I know one brother said, Brother Hawkins, I don't think you should use that word. No, brother. It is not that I shouldn't use the word. I'm saying that the mentality is niggerish for someone to do that or say that about their own kind. Now, if you got something you need to say to me, and it's for a purpose of a correction, or maybe we need to have a conversation, I don't mind you calling and we can do that. But But to try to embarrass those who are not PHA, I won't go for it. I'm not going for it. Period. I don't care if it's the International Modern Free PHO, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. I don't care what Grand Lodge they are. These are my brothers. Period. They look like me. They live in the same community I'm living in. The same issues I'm dealing with. Okay? That alone brings us together. Now, being a Mason is something extra special. Now, I may not agree with the system, but they are my brothers, and I'm not going to turn my back on them because I don't agree with their system. And if he reaches out for the grip, I'm giving it right back. Damn it. Now, that's how I roll. Now, you could say, well, you know, if he reached out and gave me the grip, and I know that my Grand Lodge didn't recognize them, I wouldn't give it. No, that's not how I get down. And that's not how Masonry gets down, because I have some Prince Hall Grand Lodges. I have your Masonic rituals, and I read them, and I know what your obligation says in there. So let's not get it twisted. And I can pull them out, and I can read it right here on the show tonight. So, but it's not me to try to embarrass or put something on blast like that. I just have the information. All right? I'll just have it. And the ideal is I don't mind sharing it, but I'm not going to try to put somebody to read it all out here. I could, but that doesn't make much sense, does it? It doesn't. Not to me. Nope. But Rock 101, he has a good damn point. And as much as he and I go back and forth over that point, it becomes almost a reality in a sense. And I'm trying my damnness to prove him wrong in the aspect of the system of Prince Hall Freemasonry. I am. And he could tell you that, because he and I have had those conversations. I had a conversation today with Brother Chris out of New York. And he was like, Brother Hawkins, I'll never do that again. And I know what he did. I almost gave him a damn headache. His blood pressure didn't go up. What's up, Brother Chris out of New York? I think that's Long Island. And I just want to send you a big shout out, brother. I appreciate your phone calls today. And Brother Taylor out of North Carolina, Grand Lodge of North Carolina, Keystone Grand Lodge of North Carolina, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. Thank you. I appreciate your phone call and conversation. And for those of us who are online tonight, I appreciate you. I really do. I don't care what jurisdiction you're from. I appreciate you. But it's the system and mentality of these various jurisdictions that really just, it gets me turning, because it turns us against each other. That's what it does. I ain't gonna give him the grip. He's not part of my Grand Lodge. And as one brother said, Brother Tony Muhammad, that sounds like some Bloods and Crips, you know. And it sounds like not only some Bloods and Crips, but some crocodiles and some snakes and some every damn thing else. Because how is it that we live in these various African American communities and can be at each other like this? And as I talked about those three types of masonries in my last episode, and last show, I talked about three types of masonry. Here's the difference between Americanized masonry, European masonry, and that Negro type of masonry. See, Europeans and the Americans, they cool. Now, they may have their spats. They may not even like each other in a sense, but they ain't gonna let you know that when it comes to teaming up. Now, if I'm lying, somebody say Hawkins, no, that's not true. Somebody can tell. I'm talking about facts. I'm not talking about something that's not factual. This is factual. The European Masons, those over in England and Britain and those European Masons, okay? Scotland and France and the European Masonry, okay? And then you have the Americanized Masonry. When it comes down to it, brothers, they're going to show unity. Even when they disagree with each other on recognition, they're going to show unity. That's how they get down. And that's when it comes to Negro Masonry, it's like, you don't even know. Because you either going to get down or you're going to lay down. And tonight, and from here on out, I'm getting down. So if you feel bold and freakish enough to call the show and we can talk about that tonight. 619-286-0642 is the show. Jonathan G, what's up, brother? Just come on in. So you know, so once again, the show is called Accusers, and the Accusers is that of PHA in the system that they have established against all other Freemasons. Okay. And some brothers say, well, Brother Hawkins, I get tired of this. I get tired of this too. I do. But in everything, there's a teaching moment in life. There's, you know, I've learned that in everything, once again, there's a teachable moment. I'm not always right. And some brothers have actually gave me a phone call and said, you missed this or you misquoted that. And I can appreciate that. I'm not always right. The process is that we're all learning. So if I can give you something, if I can leave you with something tangible to grow, to help you grow as a Mason or help you grow as an Eastern Star, I want to be able to do that. Okay? That's me. If I can leave you anything tangible to help you to grow as a Mason and as an Eastern Star, that's what I want to do. Masonry has no borders. You put up borders. I know for a fact that Brother Ollie Spencer, the President General for the General Grand Masonic Congress, has traveled abroad over to Romania. He has that relationship with the Grand Lodge, the National Grand Lodge of Romania. Some may say, well, that National Grand Lodge of Romania that he has connections with is not recognized by the UGLE. So what? It is not phasing them at all. And as I've said in our previous videos, everything doesn't end with the UGLE. They are just another Grand Lodge. That's their system. Most of us, 98% of us, would never, ever get over there to visit the Grand Lodge of England. That's a fact. You can keep hyping on the fact that you're recognized by them, but 98% of us would not get over there to visit. Period. One brother told me, he said, well, Brother Hawkins, I just can't get on your show, man, because your grammar. You know what? So what? I tell you what. You watching the video tonight, right? Hold on just a second. Hello, can I help you?
How you doing, Brother Tony? I'm a PHA Mason out of the state of Kentucky.
Okay.
I've been a Mason for about 2 years now. And, a lot of things you're saying, I had no idea, about that type of stuff. I told me something about watch out for the four-letter guys, but I mean, me being a part of it, I didn't join it to go against anyone. I kind of feel the same way you feel. I'm pro-black, but I'm not against anyone else.
Right.
I see my people, regardless of whatever your status is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to see my people do better.
Right.
Because of the history, you know what I'm saying? It's something to be proud of.
Uh-huh.
Now, I propose this, right now, I'm still a young man, but there's other members, young members who may think the way that I think, and maybe we can change that, maybe we can change that. I don't know if we can or we can't.
Well, pardon me for cutting you off. I apologize first. In that system that's embedded like that, brother, it comes from teaching. So it's gonna have to start with teaching respect to other jurisdictions that you may not agree with or even recognize. And I would say this: somebody said, "Well, how could you give too much credit to the Grand Lodge's estate?" My issues is not with the Grand Lodge's estate because I've dealt with them and their brothers. Okay, the difference is when I'm dealing with them, They call, hey, Brother Hawkins, how you doing? We got this going on. Would you like to come and fellowship? And, I want to be able to present something to you. I want to show you this, or I want to do that. Okay? That's the difference. It starts off with teaching to respect all Masons. You may not agree with them, but to respect all Masons and keep it rolling. You could just see me, hey, brother, what's up? And just go. But remember, we're in the same community. So if they snatch you out of a car, don't you think when they snatch me out too, it ain't gonna be no 4-letter, 3-letter thing here?
You right about that. They don't care how many letters you want. They want, hey, they gonna be on you, So, and I feel like we as black people, maybe it might be the young generation. Somebody dropped the ball, but we need to pick that ball back up. Where Malcolm, where Brother Malcolm and Brother Martin King left off. You know what I mean? And there's so many others that came before coming after them. We just got to get back into that point of wanting to see, like, I want to see you do good.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because if you do good, then you can give me the blueprint that I do good.
Brother.
It's that simple, there's too much hate. And I mean, okay, honestly, before I joined Freemasonry, I was exposed to the gang life, and I'm like, well, man, I don't want to do that. It's supposed to be your brothers, but we out here, attacking each other over colors.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense. And this right here is basically one and the same thing, but he, and that's the point I'm making. Like, that's kind of childish. That's not manly,
Mm-hmm.
Man, especially black man, we're men of honor. Like, I recognize all my brothers.
Right.
Recognize all my brothers. If you got that compass and square, the meaning behind it, you my brother. And that's me personally. Now as far as how the law does, a lot of things that go on there, I don't agree with. But
mm-hmm.
I'm more or less learning, and I'm going through the process. And I honestly feel like I learn more from watching you than I do actually from reading my own book, because I'm getting that more in depth. It's kind of almost like one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole nother story, But I appreciate everything you do, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need me, you got my number. If you ever around Kentucky area, what I'm saying, just give me a call, brother.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna talk. I got you. Okay. You. All right.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace and be well. Thank you.
Right.
I want to appreciate that brother from Kentucky Grand Lodge for calling in. I appreciate you. But I'm going to answer this question. This brother says, no PHA brother should ever go against his Grand Lodge. If you are not recognized by their Grand Lodge, you are in fact bogus. That is a lie. And I never said that a brother should go against his Grand Lodge. All right? And this is posted by Michael Smith. So you are live, brother Michael Smith. I never said that a brother should go against his Grand Lodge. And I do agree with you as you said that if you're not recognized by Prince Hall Grand Lodge, they consider you bogus or clandestine. They do. So in answering your question, young man, my thing is this: the system is corrupt system. Because, like I said, can you answer this for me? How did you feel 30 years ago when the Grand Lodges of State had no recognitions of you? None at all. How did you feel about that? Did you still consider that you was a regular Masons? And how do you feel about those southern states who still do not recognize Prince Hall Grand Lodge? Are they clandestine? Are they bogus? Are those southern states your brother now? Michael Smith, you can answer that in the chat. You ain't got to call in. Do you consider those brothers, those southern states, 3 or 4 of them, and as a matter of fact, the Grand Lodge of Utah pulled recognition from the Grand Lodge of Utah, Prince Hall. They pulled recognition from them. So now Utah is in the boat. So do you feel that they still your brother, or are they clandestine? Let's have that conversation too. Sure did give me a headache. Oh yeah. Oh, that's for real right there. Tony PHA took us to court in Cali and lost. I'm good with that. I let them be who they are, and I got more fellowship from mainstream. Yeah, brother Eric, you right. They did, and they lost. You're right. I'm just saying, brother. You know, they did, but it shouldn't be that way. Look, brothers and sisters, I know we all got our own issues, and our jurisdictions got their own issues. Once again, the fact remains is that we continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. And we don't have to. We don't have to continue to repeat the same thing that our forefathers repeated. We're smart, we're intelligent, we have so much at our fingertips, it is just unreal. We have more wealth among us now than we've probably ever had. But yet we don't own anything. We don't think collectively. We think independently. Too damn much. Oh, I can do it by myself. Everybody needs somebody. Jesus had 12 disciples. Moses had Aaron. Okay? The Tonto had Long Ranger. All right? Tarzan, everybody needs somebody. So let's just be real on that. Nobody gets anything done by themselves. Welcome and hello.
Hello?
Hey, Freemason Unlocked, what's going on? You're going to have to turn that down a little bit in the background. I'm getting some vibes. So tonight's topic is we're talking about accusers system that Prince Hall has that says that if you're not recognized by them or mainstream Grand Lodge, then you're bogus. I just say this. Masonry is bigger than you are. Masonry is bigger than that. And if you feel that you're the only show in town, you're sadly mistaken, because if you were, then everyone would be with you. You're not the only show in town. And my thing is this. I would say this in regards to my Grand Lodge, who has communications in recognition with foreign Grand Lodges and some of the ancient free Grand Lodges here in the United States. We have that mutual recognition with each other. Okay, so in other words, the same standards that you hold for yourself is the same standards that I can hold for me, as far as saying, well, you're not recognized. But that is some dumb shit. That is out. You're supposed to right now. You know, there's two.
The episode last night.
Uh-huh. Or anything is you being a well-traveled, well-versed Mason, with including Prince Hall, Modern and Free. I'm including the predominantly African American Grand Lodges. Where do you see this at? Because right now, I see it's I love the craft, enjoy Freemasonry. But the more I deal with those in Freemasonry, the more I don't want to deal with those who look like me in Freemasonry. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, as far as like communication, there was an article that I read about a Phylactis Society.
Uh-huh.
And what's the brother's name? Joseph
Walker
Jr. Yeah, the PHA brother.
Mm-hmm.
He published an article. It's on their website.
Right.
Where he was upset with the State Grand Lodge of New York.
Mm-hmm.
For allegedly making a statement that they would be to also recognize ancient free and accepted Mason,
Mm-hmm.
Jones lineage in the state. And you would have to look it up on
I read that, but there was some, he said they would, but let me see. In reading that, he is not that they would recognize ancient free and accepted Grand Lodges. It is not that. He was saying that they would have to dissolve themselves and come up on the PHA.
Yeah, and, well, when I read the article, he was saying that he was upset. He was going on a tirade against the state Grand Lodge in New York.
Uh-huh.
And the tirade was going against the notion that brothers in the state Grand Lodge were saying that they would be willing, possibly willing, to also recognize Black Ancient Friend Accepted Masons, John D. Jones lineage in New York.
Uh-huh.
And he was putting a tirade. He was putting up a tirade against the
okay.
in New York. Like,
wow. So,
they were started by a renegade from our organization, and it goes back. At least what I got from it goes back to what you were saying in terms of finances and having a well-structured organization. Because in New York, at least, Ancient Friend Accepted Masons, regardless of the Masonic, the General Grand Masonic Congresses that the Grand Lodges are under over here, they are very well organized. You know.
So here's the funny part.
Right.
A brother said, white Masons control all of Masonry. They determine all the rules, and I shall follow them. That is a sad way to live. You are still a slave. I think Michael Smith posted that. And he's absolutely right. They do. Let's just be bluntly honest and say that the white mainstream Freemasonry controls the Masonry in the United States. It's a fact. The only way they don't is when you're considered that renegade. When you're considered not recognized. Then they don't have a word to say. But when they move, you move just like that.
Yeah, this is why I said, like I was telling you, as far as you can look this up on Wikipedia.com. Just look up Continental Freemasonry. And what will pop up is information pertaining to two general brands of Masonry in the world, not just America. Mainstream Masonry, which we know what mainstream Masonry is, and so-called Continental Freemasonry, is the Grand Orient of France, and all of the various jurisdictions that are in amity with the Grand Orient of France. And those jurisdictions that are considered Continental Masonry, things are a lot different, like the educational qualifications are different. It's just a lot different. Even in America, this is why I say, like in New York State,
right?
The Grand Orient of France has a lodge over here. So do many other jurisdictions that are in amity with the Grand Orient of France.
They do, but see, here's the difference with the Grand Orient of France. They tell everybody, we run our own show. We do us.
Right.
And they don't care.
It's like if you go to France today, the most powerful Masonic organization in the country of France is the Grand Orient of France.
Right.
They're way more powerful than the United Grand Lodge of England and their the Grand Lodge that they recognize in France. Continental Masonry is very strong. It's the same as if you're going into South America. The majority of Freemasons that hold weight in South America are Continental Masons, not mainstream Masons. And our lodges are different, bro. Like the way it runs is different. Like we're very politically involved.
But see, that's the difference, as you've just said, with Masonry abroad versus Masonry here. See, they tell you that the Freemasons here, that you should not be talking politics or religion in your various lodges. That's the Americanized Masonry. But that's not all of Masonry, because let me tell you, a lot of the most influenced Masons are into politics, are into church. A lot of them are. That's just
Right.
that's just the nature of the beast. A lot of the most influential Masons are in politics and they are involved in the church, bar none. So let's just look at it for what it is. And it reminds me, and I'm looking at this what Malcolm Prophet says. Malcolm, you're gonna have to become a Mason, brother. I'm telling you the truth. Malcolm Prophet said this: facts challenges your opinion. That's what facts do. Facts challenge your opinion. Simple as
Right.
that. And that's a true statement. That's potent right there. I may have to use
Right.
that one day. And,
Yeah,
and, and that's what we try to do all the time, is to give you some facts that's going to challenge your opinion. Not based on what I'm telling you, because I often tell people all the time, Brother Unlock, is that they should go look for themselves.
so,
And when you look for yourself, then nobody can come back and tell you some crazy stuff. That's just how I get down. So John Hanson, I hope that one day you see this video. And like I said, even if I don't learn how to do a split screen, you're welcome to call in. And we can have that conversation. It won't be an argument. I don't want to argue with anybody. I want to have a conversation, because too many times we talk at each other and not to each other. We don't want to listen to the other side. I'm willing to listen to what other brothers from the Masonic, from Prince Hall has to say. I'm willing to listen. But in the same token, I want you to listen to me also. And if we listen to each other, maybe we can agree to disagree, but at least we have come to the table to listen and get a better understanding of each other. That's what Masonry is all about. And if you're not willing to do that, and you're so dogmatic and headstrong about it, then you're missing out on some great things in Freemasonry. That's just where it's at.
right. Yeah, but you have to remember that, like, certain individuals, like the brother you're talking about, he already pledged, he took an oath to that that general banner, which is mainstream Masonry. So you have to remember that. Since he's taken that oath and he takes that seriously, there's always going to be a problem, because if anybody breaks away from that banner and starts something up, it's going to be classified as being clandestine, which simply means out of the watch of that jurisdiction.
Right.
Secret, and that it's out of the watch of that jurisdiction. So, that's how that brother is. He's bona fide mainstream. He's very smart, but he's bona fide mainstream Mason.
So, Michael Smith, you posted something, but I'm not gonna let it show. But I'm gonna read it. I should let it show, but Michael Smith said, "This is why every Negro should never be my brother. You must be a free thinker, Negro, to be my brother." I got you. I got you on that. I got you. Okay, but in the process, Michael Smith, you pointed at brother Malcolm Prophet. You said that slavery was a choice. No one can make you a slave without your consent. I'm going to agree to disagree. I understand. You would probably have to call in and give me your understanding, so I don't misquote or misread you, because
I think they're talking about, like, I don't know if you saw what, like, Kanye West was saying in regards to that.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with Kanye West and what he said.
Yeah, these brothers are sort of like how Frederick Douglass was. You see how Frederick Douglass, if you read his autobiography, which he had a couple, 2 or 3 autobiographies that he wrote. His mentality was, I'm just not going to live like this.
Right.
I'm going to die before I remain a slave.
I got that. I agree with that.
Yeah, he was like, as soon as I started running, God granted me my freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting out of it. I'm not going to accept this mode of living. I will die before I accept these conditions.
All right.
I think that the brothers who think that way, I You know, are you going to accept the conditions, or are you going to rebel against the conditions?
Right. But see, here's the thing. If you got family involved, sometimes you do things just because to save the family. Some people sacrifice their life. Some people didn't run because they was going to leave the family. Some people ran and said, go ahead.
Right, but I'm just saying for the brothers who hold that ideology.
Right.
Just to think about it from an objective perspective. They'll see it from the perspective of like in the Gospels, like the character Jesus. He says, "Let the dead bury their dead." Right. Whoever puts his hand to the plow and turns back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven. Right?
Whoa, yes.
So their mentality, and I understand their perspective. Their mentality is that, if your people don't want to uplift themselves, meaning your close relatives, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in that boat with them? And this applies to everyday life, right?
Right. Okay.
Everybody has blood relations, but you see people in the ghetto who get out of the ghetto. By what means?
But
by letting the dead bury their dead.
But that's true.
I'm not staying in the ghetto with my family who doesn't want to uplift themselves. I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to learn how to invest money, and I'm out of this ghetto mentality.
Right. But check this out. Right. On top of that, once you get out of the ghetto, go back and buy the mother up. I mean, that's including myself. Once you get out of the ghetto, go back and buy it up. If you have become a successful person in any of the businesses that you may have or a part of, go back and buy it up. And then it's no longer a ghetto because you are investing in something that you know is going to be great. And that's the mentality that has to change, even in Freemasonry. You know, if you consider yourself a Freemason, then you begin to carry and act and be that which you are, according to your Grand Lodge and its constitution and bylaws. Period.
Right. And this a lot of that goes back to what you were saying about guarding the West Gate as far as cameras and eavesdroppers. And if you focus on quality over quantity, you will do well. You have to understand the people and their mentality. Like in the black community, there are individuals who start prosperous businesses in the black community without question. However, they follow a strict protocol. And part of that protocol is understanding your people.
Right.
For example, let's say you start a business in the black community. By the black community, in the sense I'm saying it, is the ghetto. Not saying a prosperous black community. Like, I'm not talking about...
I got you. We got you.
Right. So you'll know that you would more than likely have to... Your middle management would more than likely have to be somebody that minorities in the ghetto respect. Right? Because respect is a key. If you just try to have black folk or minorities in general as middle management, individuals will come into your store. They won't respect it because when they see you, who talked about this? What's this brother's name, man? Bobby Wright. That's his name. Brother should study him, man. He died. He died like a mysterious death in the same way that Johnny Cochran died a mysterious death.
We always die. Well, a lot of us who step out front always die of a mysterious death.
Right.
I mean, all of us.
Bobby Wright was a psychologist, and his theory was that on a subconscious level, low-income minorities think with the mind of a Caucasian racist. This was his theory, right? And what he was basically saying was that low-income minorities, when they see another person of color, quote-unquote, Like me, you're nobody. So I'm not spending my money with you, man. I'm not doing nothing to bring you up because you less than me.
So here's the
thing.
thing.
The white man is superior.
So here's the thing. We're dealing with a lot of different issues on a lot of different fronts. And when you're dealing in Freemasonry, it's supposed to enlighten you. It's supposed to wake you up. It's supposed to shake you. Because at 32 degrees, you're still yet frozen.
Real quick, look, like
go ahead.
Cocaine Blaze, right? No disrespect to the brother. He's really quick to jump on the attack. He says only a theory, no data backing it. I guarantee you this guy doesn't even know who Bobby Wright is.
Okay.
He's in the comments, right?
Okay.
But this is what he says. He says only a theory, no data backing it. Like he's on the attack. You get what I'm saying? So either he's a white troll, right?
Okay.
Or he's one of us who has that mentality that Bobby Wright talked about. Look, then he says just being objective. If you were being objective, you would know that the scientific theory states that you should gather data. Gather data before you make an opinion. But the first thing he did, he didn't gather data. He said only a theory. No data backing it. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So this is the and as I stated initially, I said this was the theory. That the brother said. And he said, okay, bring us the data. And I would say to him, you bring it. Look it up. You're on the internet, so I'm quite sure you have access to Google. Google Bobby Wright. And his theories.
Yeah.
Because we're limited on time right here. So I just brought it up, not to say that what Bobby Wright said was a fact. I could just say from me actually being a man who grew up in the ghetto, right? I didn't grow up middle class. I know that.
But here's the thing, though. In saying that, a lot of us, I'm going to tell you, for me, in joining Masons and becoming a Mason, I saw Masons as those individuals who were influenced people in the community. They was doing well for themselves.
Right.
In my lodge that I joined, every Mason in there was doing very well for themselves, and they was all black. Now here's the funny part. I had a brother, his name was Albert Foster. Albert Foster was a master pipe fitter for the Navy. Master pipe fitter. He was a chief when he retired. No, not a chief. What's an E7? Whatever E7 in the Navy is, that's what he was when he was retired. Here's the point. That brother couldn't spell a lick.
Right.
But he was a master pipe fitter. He was the one that everyone went to when they tried to make pipes and fit pipes. He was that person.
Right.
And that's the funniest thing. Now check this out. I had another lodge brother who was definitely well off, owned quite a few properties around San Diego, California, and was doing quite well for himself.
Right.
And I learned a lot from those individuals. And this is what Masonry is to me. It's taking the very thing that I see in those that I'm around who are successful and become successful myself. If you are in a circle of brothers and all they ever do is talk about nigga this, nigga that, and all they ever do is talk about you ain't recognizing, you ain't this, you ain't shit. If that's all they're gonna ever do, they're not moving. They're not gonna go anywhere.
Right. That was the only reason that I brought up the brother Bobby Wright. Just for brothers to study him if they're serious. It's like you can take a channel, right? Like a YouTube channel, and you have general followers of the channel, right? And you have to look at certain things. Like a year ago, let's just say a year's time passed. Did this subscriber, did they really improve? You get what I'm saying? Did they improve their situation from 12 months ago till now? Or are they still in the same boat? Right? And life is like that. We have to look back sometimes, like, okay, 3 years ago, where was I at?
Right.
Mentally, as well as, my economic situation, all situations. So, for those who want to improve, just like in the Masonic community, what's another good brother to reference? W.E.B. Du Bois.
Right.
was the principal Mason. He broke away from it though. He broke away from Prince
did
Hall.
you know
he didn't
that?
break away from his.
Hey, I'm gonna say this.
Yes.
You bring up W.E. Du Bois. Did you know that him and John G. Jones really had a disliking for each other at one time?
Yeah, of course, because in the beginning, W.E.B. Du Bois, he had the theory of the talented 10.
Right.
And, you know, he was a Harvard boy.
Mm-hmm.
So his thing was like, you know, I'm the elite, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And as he lived life more, because remember, too, the NAACP in his day and time was being founded by
the Jews.
Asians.
Just said the Jews and the Caucasian founded the NAACP. Let's just put it on out there. If you're going to say it, say it.
Yeah. So he, as he did more study, he lived more. He changed W.E.B. Du Bois. He was always sharp, but he changed his whole idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm saying this because I have a doctorate in the subject. I'm
Okay.
just not a regular guy who's saying, I'm just I read books and I don't really study them.
Mm-hmm.
W.E.B. Du Bois was very well educated.
Right.
When he switched from that ideology, the Fed started watching him. Paul Robeson was one of his disciples.
Uh-huh.
And he said, you know what? I'm done with America. As far as, the racist,
but why does it, but you know what? Why does it take all of that to say that, well, I'm done with America? Because look, the facts are what they are. History tells me this. This is what history tells me. History tells me this, is that either you're going to get down or lay down. You're in the same community, Hawkins, with a lot of Prince Hall brothers, a lot of modern free international brothers. Y'all in the same community within a 20-mile radius of each other. But you brothers don't do shit together. You don't do anything for your community together. You don't socialize together. You don't eat together. You don't even talk to each other.
It's like this, right?
Uh-huh.
No offense, because I got love for every brother that's on this forum. You start seeing the brothers, like I'm reading the comments as we're speaking.
Uh-huh.
Brothers just start, not every brother, certain brothers are upright.
Mm-hmm.
That brother just shooting shots, bro. Like beefing with each other, like.
But that's what I'm saying. This is the mentality that we have to.
Like, this is crazy.
Look, but that's the mentality that we have to look at, Brother Unlock. We have to look at the mentality of loosening the chain that has been put around your head. Anytime you can look at your brother, the same skin tone, be it a little lighter or a little darker, and you can look at him and call him or tell him you're a bogus and clandestine Mason because the mainstream Grand Lodge don't recognize you and I don't recognize you, so therefore that's what you is. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, this is why, like I said too, like with Brother John G. Jones, I was saying this a couple of months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say you Google, right, John G. Jones, John George Jones. Right?
Uh-huh.
Google it, independent of Masonry. Just Google his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's a profound figure in American Black history.
He is. He was in Jet.
Yeah,
Could you believe John G. Jones was in Jet magazine?
Yeah, he's well respected. Like, go outside the realm of Masonry and just look him up.
Right.
And you'll see that he's well respected.
Mm-hmm.
Well respected. So, outside of independent of Masonry, it's cool to be a Mason. You know, it's cool to be a Mason and everything. But as an individual, it's like, okay, cool. Now, in those days, like you stated a little bit earlier, there was no issue as far as the white community and the blacks, because all Black Masons were considered clandestine in this country by the mainstream whites.
You best believe that. And a lot of them still are. They just don't come out and really say that.
Right. It's like, you have to be smart, bro. Like we see with the Nation of Islam, you have to think bigger. Like me, I'm not. Like, for example, I'm Muslim at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll always come across individuals who are immature and they can't wrong person is Muslim, man. And, you know, and they want to beef with them because of that. Like with the NOI, who cares, bro? If they, you have to look at the bigger picture, like group economics, you know, social work in the community and things of that nature. But and Masonry is the same way. It's the same way. You know, it goes in the days when Prince Hall was still alive. He had donated a sum of money to the Grand Lodge of England before he passed away, and they turned his money down. Like, we don't want your money, man.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm going to say this here. So if you ever want to go back and play this, no, all white Masons are not racist. Okay, let's just clear the air on that. All white Masons are not racist. Just like all Prince Hall Masons don't necessarily see other black Masons as clandestine. Let's have an understanding. Because and the reason I'm saying that is because I know, okay, I know I found favor when dealing with my Caucasian white counterpart Mason. I found favor with them, okay, in certain situations, all right? So I'm not going to say that all, I won't do that and say that all of them are that, because they're not. And I would hope that we can gain some understanding. This reminds me when we think that we freed ourselves. When we think the Underground Railroad that many of our ancestors was able to escape to freedom. You better get real and understand that who risked their life and their family life, that your life or your ancestors can be free. They did that. So for me to think that all white Masons,
the brothers, some of the brothers above, and I talk about that, like as far as like for brothers who are educated, it goes without saying, you know. Brothers who are educated, and you know, he got hung up. He's a white man, you know, killing slave masters and stuff like that. But
yeah,
you know, idiot, and
that we've been on this continent, in this mass called the United States. We gotta wake up here pretty soon, brothers. In this group chat, who come in and start shit. I'm gonna have to start deleting them. Okay?
That's how it is. But the platform, you know, like a lot of the great thinkers laid platforms down along the same line. Like, you know, like today with Brother Farrakhan, I think you were talking about him earlier. His platform is good. I support him. I don't have to agree with everything he does. Whoever told you have to agree with everything somebody does?
That's right.
In order to be on the same page. You know what I mean? You don't have to, but the fruits speak for themselves. You know, the fruits of your labor. So you have to look at those things like group economics, and you have to say, damn, does it work? You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to be a Muslim or whatever, but damn, does it work? If it works, they have supermarkets in their names. They have housing facilities. They have dollar stores in their names. They have restaurants. How are they doing this? Let me go see and let me get down with that. You know what I mean?
I hear exactly what you're saying, but I'm gonna answer a couple of questions real quick. And says, Tony, while on the subject of learning, if John Harrison were to come on your show and show you the documents we're referring to, I guess John G. Jones, would it change your perception of your Grand Lodge? It doesn't change the perception of my Grand Lodge, my brother. It will not, because my Grand Lodge is sovereign. I understand sovereignty. I know how my Grand Lodge got started. I know when it got started. I know the members who started it. I know the history of my Grand Lodge. So whatever John Harrison is going to show me to try to prove that my Grand Lodge is clandestine or bogus, that has no effect on my opinion. I've been here 32 years. Do you think that's going to change my mind and what we have done and built here? Hell no. Only thing he's going to do is say, okay, I see your point. As a matter of fact, I may even agree with him. But to agree with someone doesn't necessarily mean I have to leave where I'm at, especially if we're doing the works. And if we're doing the work and we're putting in the energy and we know who we are, we don't need anyone to claim or to say that we're legit. See, that's the problem. When you need somebody to say that you're legit, you're not legit. When you need somebody to say, hey, brother, you're legit, you're not legit because you need their approval. Come on, people. Wake up and smell some Folger's House Maxwell coffee.
Yeah, again, it goes, as far as Masonry is concerned, it goes back to understanding the philosophy of Masonry and living the philosophy. If you live it, it's like a few days ago I was talking with some brothers from Texas that are ancient frame accepted Mason, John G. Jones lineage. And the lodge, one of the officers is a good friend of mine. But the lodge is like, young members as far as the officers. Young brothers, like in their late 20s, some in their mid-20s, and in their 30s. And to me, it's a beautiful sight to see, like, yes, these young brothers.
It's gonna be the young brothers. Those who educate themselves are going to be the one to change the system for where we're at right now.
Yeah, these brothers were looking sharp. They were coming out doing what they have to do. It doesn't matter that they're, ancient, except the Mason. That's what they call. Like you said, they know. I know this personally. They have the same sound you have. They have the same grips. They have the same tokens. They have the same philosophy. Only difference is, that one has broken off from the other. That's it. And also, if you want to hold on to that beef, that's over 100 years old, and say, they broke the lineage. The lineage argument is bullcrap because if it held any weight, which it doesn't, everybody would see it, but it doesn't because John G. Jones was so Mason. So let's stop that nonsense right there. He just broke off. That's it. So, but it's of course obvious that one organization is going to have beef with the other because one broke away from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one is going to say, oh, you didn't want to, roll with our programming, but you have to start thinking about the bigger picture.
Right. Absolutely. Somebody asked me, they said, Brother Hawkins, how would you feel if some members of your jurisdiction left and started their own Grand Lodge? I wouldn't feel no type of way. I wouldn't. And the reason I wouldn't feel no type of way is because for whatever reason they left, they left. They're doing whatever they're doing for the betterment of themselves. And if they form themselves into a Grand Lodge and they have enough members to do it, so more it be. The question is, would I fellowship with them? Look, in anything in life, when somebody pull away from you, it hurts. The ideal is, am I going to carry that hurt, or am I going to say, you know what?
Here's another thing, too, that falls into that.
What's that?
What is the reason for which a person broke off?
Absolutely, and that's what I was getting to. You're right.
If a person is so ignorant, right?
You
think that just because somebody broke off, they're an enemy, that's ignorant. Now,
it is.
The reason should be considered.
The reason should be considered. Absolutely.
Let's just say with the case of John D. Jones. Can anybody say the guy stole money? No. Nobody. I've never heard that. Not even in the minutes that exist. He stole money. He didn't do anything that would be considered a crime.
Right.
I'm saying a moral crime. The only thing he did was broke off and started making Masons of his own accord.
It wasn't even. I'm gonna help you out a little bit if you don't mind.
Uh-huh.
It was inclusive of the mere fact that they said he was talking to clandestine Masons, and they don't say who were they. They just said he was conversating or meeting with clandestine Masons. I would like to know who were those clandestine Masons at that time, because.
But listen, there was 2 trials against him, right?
Okay.
First was in the 1870s, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He was suspended,
right?
But he was subsequently restored, and then, as we know, later on in the early 1900s, he was subsequently expelled.
Now hold it right there.
Right.
Now check this out.
Right.
If I was expelled, if John G. Jones was expelled in 1903, he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander of another jurisdiction in 1896, right? And I know that people often say, well, the Scottish Rite and the York Rite, the Scottish Rite and the Masonic Blue Lodge are totally 2 different entities, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell me this.
And the way you're at, though. Yeah.
If I was a member, can I right now, for those of you who are Prince Hall Masons, I got a question. Can I right now be a member of your Supreme Council, which is separate from your Grand Lodge? That's my question. Can I right now choose to petition your Supreme Council to be a part of your pending bodies without me being part of a Prince Hall Grand Lodge? If you tell me yes, then I will consider you being like, okay, all right, I got it. But if you tell me no, then that tells me that John G. Jones was doing his own thing in 1896 when he was the most puissant sovereign grand commander. He was no longer a part of the Grand Lodge of Illinois.
Yeah, but we have to keep in mind this, because brothers do their history at the same time.
Go ahead.
These brothers swap budget. Part of the whole organization of Masonry worldwide. Part of the history of the Masonic movement dealt with whether or not the high grades of Masonry, the appendix to the Masonry.
Right.
And a lot of the Scottish Rite consistories in the old days, we're talking about the 1800s. The Scottish Rite started in 1801, by the way, for the viewers who are not familiar with the history of the Scottish Rite.
Right.
A lot of the Scottish Rite consistories were trying to take over Freemasonry, right?
They were
trying to take over Masonry. Like, listen, Blue Masonry, the Blue Lodge, is not up to par, and we're going to take over Masonry.
You're absolutely right. And that was and I'm going to add to that. At one time, that was the mentality of John G. Jones. He believed that a Supreme Council could erect a Grand Lodge. That was his thinking at one time.
Yeah, because remember, for brothers who study out there,
right?
Not just Moles and Doe, the Legenda, which he wrote. He wrote a lot of books.
Right.
The Scottish Rite, when it started, man, they were trying to take over the Masonry, bro.
They were, and they said that in their history.
Right. Right. So remember, the Scottish Rite started in 1801. The Scottish Rite per se.
Right.
The individuals who started the Scottish Rite, they were in activity towards the perfection in France and other Haiti, all over the world. Now, what the Grand Lodge of England had to do, they felt that they had to step in and make a statement. Like, listen, Masonry is only the 3 degrees and the Holy Royal Lodge and nothing else. And then they became the Grand Lodge of England, and they started a movement to force the appendant, what we today call appendant bodies, the Scottish Rite, Mizram, and all of these other rites, submit themselves to the Blue Lodge,
right,
the Grand Lodge. And this is why we have a situation America and the United Kingdom, most of the Masonic jurisdictions keep control of Freemasonry within the realm of the Blue Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that everywhere else. It's like in co-Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the co-Masonic bodies
Right.
run by the Scottish Rite.
Oh, really?
Most of them, not all, most.
Wow, that's interesting.
Let's say let's try Human, which is the biggest co-Masonic organization in the world.
Uh-huh.
They don't have a bunch of Grand Lodges, bro. They have a Supreme Council.
Wow.
The Supreme Council runs everything in that organization of the Scottish Rite. You know, the 33rd degree Masons.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of guys, bro, no disrespect, man, a lot of these guys don't even have, I'm saying as far as a lot of the trolls and individuals who say they've been Masons for 10 years and 15 years and don't study. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Guys who don't even have college degrees, or some of them don't even have GEDs, bro. And that doesn't make a person wrong. It's just to say that individuals who are not in the habit of studying, if they did their studies, bro, they would know these type of things, bro. If you had 10 to 15 years of constant study of your Freemasonry,
Mm-hmm.
you would know a lot of these things.
I'm gonna say this for the record. I'm reading a comment and it says that if lineage and jurisdiction does not matter because we are all the same, why not return to the original Masonic fraternity that we come from, not being sarcastic or just asking. The original fraternity or the original Masonic order for which Black Masonry derived from is PHO, Prince Hall origin. When you're talking in regards to original, because the system was established then. PHA, as we know it today, broke away from that system. Okay? So I've had conversation with Brother Kelly, who's a part of the Grand Lodge of PHO out of Miami. And he and I have had those conversations, you know, but you have to build that bridge. And who knows, if you build it, motherfuckers, if you build it, I'm sorry, brother. If you build it, members may just cross over it.
Right.
You know?
I think what and Martin is kind of saying is like, we try to have a mentality, at least real Freemasons, where it's like, you know, let's just be Freemasons. No John G. Jones, no Prince Hall, no mainstream, you know, none of the labels, in other words.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why that doesn't happen is because Freemasonry is an organization. It's not just a philosophy. It's an organization. So with organization comes officers, you know, people who have rank in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And men are going to differ, just like America, bro. You know?
Right.
It depends on how you see it. Let's say America. You can have the philosophy as an American where, and I'm not promoting, you know, patriotism of America, not like this. I'm just using it as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the mentality that I'm an American, and, you know, whether you're Democrat or you're Republican or you're independent, we're all Americans. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can have the mentality that I'm American, but I'm Republican. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm American, but I'm Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's not Democrat is my enemy, which you do have in also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for organizations, you're always going to have, you know, different organizational schisms, because human beings are the ones running the organization. And we're far from perfect, bro.
Hey, ever check this out? So it says regular media, 24/7 YouTube channel. It's Accusers. Get your grammar right. You know what? I tell you what, regular media, 24/7. If you want to come on the channel and have the conversation, you're welcome to do so. I keep smiling because it's a funny thing. It's you know, people always got something to say, but they really just running their mouth. They really just yakking. But I'm okay with that because let me tell you this. Here's the funny thing. In my life, also what I do, lives I've affected, I've suit in my life. So by
But
you know,
yeah,
and
definitely, and we'll talk about that. And now that the show is at 1,000, like you have more benefits to the show. Like you get more, you know, you have more benefits.
right,
Like
right.
chat, but we'll talk about that stuff without question.
Okay, okay.
One new level for 2000 and what the counts, bro.
Oh, we certainly brother.
They never gonna
Trust
fall
me.
in or try to show their face, bro.
We certainly gonna get down like that. We are going to make that happen. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, bro. I appreciate you. I enjoy your company when you call in, always. So as we conclude tonight, peace be to you and your family. We're gonna make it do what it do, as they say. And for those who came on tonight, I appreciate everyone, and I thank you. And you know what? I may have to go back and check my spelling to make sure I have accusers on there. But hey, Freemason Unlocked, as always, bro. You know, we're gonna stay out them bushes. We're gonna definitely keep our light on.
Absolutely. Peace, yeah.
All right, peace out now. Take